So after overcoming years of shyly hiding behind her guitar and thousands of YouTube views later, Adegail has been transformed into a songwriting, worship leading, YouTube singing, guitar teaching child of the Almighty. And I'm really pleased to say that Adegail joins me now. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey,
Glad to,
it's a pleasure to have your company. How's your day going?
yeah, it's been pretty relaxed today, which is great. So yeah,
Good to hear. Well, since 2018, you've released, I can't believe it, 75 worship remixes and covers that have been shared internationally. Was this an intentional activity, or is it something that's grown organically?
yeah, definitely. I would say a bit of both. I've been into making covers for years and years, but then I kind of took it a lot more seriously around 2018, and so I decided to start releasing covers weekly just to get myself consistent, to make sure I was actually practicing the guitar, and yeah, just to kind of be an example of consistency because at the time I felt like there wasn't actually many people, and so that's what inspired it.
Talking of playing the guitar, is that something that you're self-taught, or have you been trained?
So I was put into music school when I was about 10 years old by my parents. So I was there for maybe about 4 years, and then through secondary school, I had lessons too. But then for the last maybe 5, 6 years, I've been teaching myself, and now I actually teach the guitar to other people, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's been a
That
bit of
is
both.
that's fantastic, fantastic. And sometimes from those little seeds, we see what we see today, which is beautiful. Now, you've been described as a trailblazer by a number of people, partly due to the positive impact that your organization, Irradiate, if I've pronounced it right, has been having. So tell us about this, what you do, and why you started it.
Yeah, so Irradiate was founded kind of out of a space of frustration. So I came into the scene, I didn't really see many people who were consistent online. I didn't really see, you kind of see similar faces on posters and at events, but there's so many people that are talented, right? So, kind of out of that space, I just wanted to birth something that would bring light to other creatives who were talented, equally, serving God and putting themselves out there. But they just didn't have the opportunities. And so I founded Irradiate to equip, empower, encourage, and educate other creatives. So we had, different events, and now we have a very, I guess, a focus on educating creatives, especially in the gospel scene in the UK, who may not have the education needed to kind of get to a certain space, but they have the talent. And so, yeah, that's kind of the motivation behind it. And it's something I'm passionate about because it's pretty much a reflection of where I'm at in terms of my creative journey.
Yeah, that's quite powerful. That's really good to see. So, in terms of when you set it up, you're appealing to other creatives to empower them and to educate them. How has that been received so far?
I think it's been received quite well. So the first one, it involved different musicians who could play the instruments and sing, and I think we sold out. Yeah, we pretty much sold out on the first one. It was quite a big turnout. In terms of other industry people, they started, picking up that it was going on, and they started supporting. Some of them came, like I guess O'Neill Dennis from A Step Forward. He was quite supportive from the beginning, and so people just see it as something that's definitely necessary, and that's not necessarily there right now. And so yeah, it's definitely been getting good traction from people, even in other countries now. People have been attending and showing interest and helping to promote it. So yeah, it's been quite good.
So, whereabouts are you based? Where's home for you?
London.
Okay, and so the iRadiate has been an event that's been taking place in London, or is it something that you want to take around the country as well?
Yeah, so we began in London, and yeah, we began there, and then now we've done it online because of COVID. So we started having events online, educating people with different people. Even I think the last event we had a Canadian artist who toured with Lauren Daigle. So we're trying to really kind of get out there and meet different needs in different countries, because actually the issue is quite the same in different countries. It's not just in the UK where there's a lack of knowledge or lack of education, it's other places. So we've seen people in Nigeria join, Canada, America. And so, yeah, we're going to definitely be taking it around once the world opens more and more.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's fantastic. Now you're a strong believer in using your God-given talents and your gifts to live out your purpose. And 2021 has been a year like no other. Sorry, 2020 as well. Both, over that period of time has been like no other. But 2021 for you, it enabled you to release your debut single, "Live for You." The video is just it's so powerful. I love I love the resonance of the song. Even when you finish the song, you're still there singing it over and over, which is really great. So talk us through the song and why you feel it's so on point for this season that we're in.
Yeah. So Live For You was initially birthed out of a spontaneous set I did for a Stage for Praise. So that was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't know it would be a song. I didn't know I would even write it and complete it. And so I guess tying everything with like gifts and talents and stuff like that, I was just at a point where I knew that I had been burying my gifts and talents to a degree. And so I guess the lyrics that talks about, no matter what it feels like, I'll worship you, no matter what it looks like. It was just me almost like talking to God and saying, no matter how awkward this may be or this calling may be, I'm going to worship you. And that's not just singing, that's actually living my life in obedience to you. And so that's where it stemmed from. And then I finished writing it, I guess, a few years later. And then I just knew that was almost like the soundtrack to my life. And so I just wanted to release it. And I knew that it would empower other people, because a lot of people have a similar story in the sense of fear and running away from what they've been called to do. And so, yeah, I released it at the start of this year, still in the pandemic, still in lockdown. And just a lot of people have just been really receptive to the message of, just living for God and being obedient and not letting fear stop you. And it's a response to, I guess, the message of the gospel, whereas, the message of the gospel, which is, Jesus died for us. We should respond to that love and live for him through our lives and worship him through our lives. And so, yes, the reception has been great. People have really been saying it's really touched them in their season. And they've really, I guess, taken it as their own message too, which is really good, because you don't want to just have a song that just relates to your life and no one else. And so that empowering aspects of it is there too, which I really appreciate, and just thank God for that impact.
It's certainly one that challenges, live for you. The words are without doubt very clear, and the message is very clear in it as well. And who is it that you feel the song can appeal to, or you're trying to appeal to?
Yeah. Funny enough, it's been appealing to people of all ages, from the oldest to the youngest. But I think my main sort of target is, I guess, millennials, Christians that are around my age, kind of teenagers and upwards, to just, live out their life. I think at that age, you're kind of looking for your purpose, your calling. What do I do with my life? You need a sense of direction. And a lot of times fear tends to, be that awkward thing that is just niggling at you. And so people around my age, younger and above, to just kind of live your life. And no matter how old you are or young you are, I know it will appeal to people in different seasons of their life, because it's meant to be that sort of song that just appeals to you. So, yeah.
Sure. Now, you play the guitar, you sing. How would you describe your style and your sound, maybe? I mean, you undoubtedly have a passion for music.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I think, I guess I discovered my sound after doing, I guess, 74 covers. Let's have some sort of sound by that point. So my sound, I would describe it as quite peaceful. And that's kind of how other people have described it, kind of like quite a gentle, peaceful sound. My tone is quite, I guess, thick and quite low to a degree. So that's kind of just my natural voice. In terms of genre, it's mostly worship, but I'm definitely on different sort of sounding songs. So yeah, I guess my sound is just me. Like if you've heard me sing any of my covers, you'll just be like, okay, that's definitely Adegail. I hear that. That's her, which is good to have.
Yeah, definitely. Talking of collaborations, I know that you take inspiration from the likes of, if I read it right, Tasha Cobbs, Tori Kelly, Marley Music, as well as Todd Galbraith and Phil Thompson, who are great worship leaders as well. Who would you most like to collaborate with, if anybody, either from a vocal perspective or a musical perspective?
This is always the hardest question to answer. I think, you know what? I'll say Tori Kelly, just because
Okay.
Grew up listening to her. She's a singer, guitarist like myself. She inspired me so much. She's in the Christian sphere and the non-Christian spheres, and she's just like doing an amazing job. So I would say, yeah, probably a collaboration with her would just melt my heart.
And here's a random question for you. So we can talk about collaborations, and you mentioned Tori Kelly. If you were to describe yourself as a fruit or veg, what would it be? Random question there. Let's see how you think about yourself now. Fruit or veg, what would it be?
Oh my gosh.
So take a moment to think about this one.
Okay, let me think. Okay, I don't know why this came to mind, but a pineapple. I'll explain. So pineapples on the outside look a bit ugly. That's not what I'm trying to say, but in the sense of they can be quite prickly. So on the outer, sometimes it can be a bit hard to get through to me, but in terms of inside, it's quite sweet. And so I think I have that combination of, being hard when I need to be, and in the inside, I'm quite, quite sweet and stuff, soft-hearted. And I guess through music, you kind of see on the outside, I can be quite stern when it comes to like business side of music, but on the inside, I'm just a sweet person. So I guess a pineapple makes sense.
Listen, that's a great analogy, a great way of looking at it. So yeah, definitely. Okay, a pineapple, great. Thank you. Probably a bit of a random question there. We thought I'd throw that in.
I know, I'm just like, what? It's cool.
And what future plans do you have with your artistry in terms of developing that, writing more songs, releasing more songs? Is there a thought of an album in the future?
To be fair, I got that album question from the first day that my first song came out. People were like, "Where's the album?" So yeah, I definitely have a plan. Again, with the 75 releases, I become a quite consistent person, and I want to show that in my originals too. So yeah, I've just released a song where I was featured on a track with a Nigerian artist based in Nigeria. And so I'm going to have a combination of songs that are originals, where it's just me, and then me featured on other songs and other people's featured on mine. And I'll just say watch this space, because I know in the gospel field it's quite pricey, and it just takes a lot of work with a lot of people. It's almost like just a huge project, and so I don't want to rush it either. But yeah, there's definitely going to be original music, probably live recordings, collaborations, and yeah, I'm just excited to see where God really takes me in the season, because I still have Irradiate and I have other avenues of my creativity too. So we're just going to have to see where it fits in this year.
Well, I was going to ask, as we come out of lockdown, a lot of people are looking for creatives maybe to go out and do live events and live gigs in front of not just a live gig, but in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
Is that something that you'd welcome?
Yeah, definitely. I've actually already got questions about it, which is great. The world has been closed for a long time, so yeah, I'm definitely open to I guess bookings for things like that. And to just see people again, and even see people sing my song back to me, because I for a moment I forgot that that's actually a reality. People are going to be able to do that, and so yeah, I'm really excited to have my own live shows, my own headlines again too. Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I started the interview talking around, or mentioning rather, was around your shyness or
Yeah.
perceived shyness. How do you feel, or do you feel that has helped you, or how have you managed that to get to where you are now? Because for some people that can be a hindrance, but actually once they get into their creative zone, they soar. They may be shy when they get off stage, but once they're on stage, they're flowing. How's it with you?
Gosh, I think it's definitely been a journey. I think when I started off, even though I guess I had the gift and talent, I would still be slightly shaking on stage. The adrenaline and all that stuff. I think over time, I've definitely become more confident, knowing that this is what I've been called to do, and knowing that I'm relatively good at it, and I know that's not even me. It's a gift that I've been given, and because I've been stewarding it, it just makes me more confident on the stage. You still get, definitely still get nervous at times, just with masses of people. But yeah, over time and just even growing older, you just, it gets easier by the grace of God. And so, there's hope. That's what I would say. There's definitely hope.
Well, no, I was having seen one of the videos and some of your other videos on social media. I think that you come across so well. You have a lot to give, a lot to offer, and I really want to wish you well. So how can people follow you, get hold of a track, follow you on social media and stay in touch with you?
Yeah, thank you, by the way. I think everything is pretty much Adegail, Adegail, on pretty much all platforms. You'll find me. My music is on all international streaming platforms, UK platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. And so if you follow me on, Instagram, YouTube, I'm quite active on those two. And then look on streaming platforms, you'll hear my original music.
Brilliant. That's great. Well, really appreciate your time today. Thank you for being a part of what we do here on Gospelzone, and God bless you and everything that you do.